Hello wonderful women, this is Claudia from Nourished by Claudia, and today I would like to discuss the 4 mistakes that it's better to avoid when trying to recover. So I would like to apologize my red dress that doesn't really match with the pink flower, but today I was feeling really sassy and I'm going out on a date with my beautiful husband. So I said, why not? Red is my favorite color and I never get to wear it. Anyway, going back to the 4 mistakes. Number 1, you're going back to exercise too soon. So let's say that you decide to recover and you finally put on some weight and you relax on the exercise front and you tend not to stress as much as before, you don't take on as many responsibilities as you did before, and then finally you see that your body is changing and it looks like that your body is finally giving you a menstrual cycle, and you decide to increase your exercise level because finally you think that your body is fine, it went back to where it was before, so your hormones are all fine, and you said, okay, so it's time for me to sign up for the gym membership once again, or maybe you just sign up for another marathon and you start training again. That's a massive mistake. Lots of women do that, and I've done it plenty of time. I remember that once I got my period back and the next day I enrolled to a 50k walk that was due 2 weeks after my period. So you can imagine my period didn't come back for another 6 months and I didn't know what I did wrong. And the reason was that I just went back to exercising way too soon. So that's something that I really invite you to avoid doing. So just a rule out there is just wait for your period to come back for at least 4 times and then slowly and gently increase your exercise level and just monitor your next cycle. If it's too late, so after 28 days, just cut back the exercise once again. Tip number 2, you get your period back, you celebrate, you're so happy, and then the next day you cut your calories right back because you have decided that finally your body is fine, your hormones are back in place, so it's time for you to get back to the shape that you were before. This is super wrong. Once again, something that I did, got my period back, and then I decided to do a juice cleanse for 7 days. Guess what? My period didn't come the next month, and I once again was wondering why it happened. So your body needs to feel safe to ovulate, and it's all about energy availability. So the same rule goes for exercising. If you get your period back, just wait for another 3 or 4 periods, even 5 if you can, and then you can decide to change the way that you're eating. I'm not inviting you to indulge in junk every single day from the moment that you decide to recover until you get your period back and for 5 months after that. It's always really nice to go back to a diet where you balance the carbohydrates and the fat and the protein that you're eating on a daily basis. But what I'm saying is just make sure that you don't cut your calories back, otherwise your period is gonna poof, disappear again. Tip number 3, you get your period back and then you look forward to get back in shape or to get back to where you were before, or maybe you even sign up for a bodybuilding competition. And I'm kind of laughing because it happens so very often. But why? You have done all this work, you have finally gained the weight, you read all the books, the magazine, you sign up to a forum, to a program, you spend hours discussing your problems with a counselor, with a nutritionist, or with a dietitian, and with your GP, you did all the blood tests, and for what? For going back to where you were before? Well, the reason because you want to change is because you are miserable. Otherwise, people don't change. If they don't feel stuck where they are, people don't have enough motivation to make a change. So make sure that you don't go back to your old self because it wasn't worth it. You are not happy. Otherwise, you would have never tried to change what you were before. Tip number 4, be ashamed of your body. That happens quite a lot. And I had to deal with it for a very long time. So finally you gain weight and you lose your identity a little bit because you are the skinny one, you are the fit one, you are the one waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to a HIIT class and then a Pilates at night, and you are always active on the weekend. And then all of a sudden that identity is gone because you learn that there is a bigger life, that you can also sit, rest, eat ice cream, laugh with your friends and do nothing all day, and it's absolutely fine. Life is worth living and it's actually much better that way. But your body has changed and your body is not gonna go back to what it was before. And that's where I see lots and lots of women struggling. This is quite challenging, and I don't have really a pill that can take the feeling away from you. So what I will encourage you to do is just to make sure that you follow as many Instagram accounts as you can, that they talk about body positivity, intuitive eating, and health at every size. And also sign up to a forum where lots of women of different shapes, they discuss how much they love their body. Or maybe just invest some money and talk to a counselor, to someone that really knows what you have been through. It is quite hard. You don't need to be ashamed. It's not about letting yourself go. It's not about losing your identity. It's about creating a new one. It's about taking care of your body. It's actually becoming the better version of you, the version 2.0. So I highly invite you to avoid these 4, let's call them mistakes, although they are not really mistakes. It's just an obstacle. It's just a stumbles on the way to recovery. But I would really invite you to avoid them, simply because then it's much harder to get back on track. Anyway, we discussed this and a lot more on the HA recovery program. So if you want to learn more about it, you can head to my website, www.nourished.claudia.com. Otherwise, you can also download my 10 essential tips to get the period back. Love you very much. Bye.